Yo, 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 new day, new day. I have just watched the absolute most peak of TikTok of today, so it's not even worth. I should just uninstall the app. You know, there is a guy with not too many followers, but he's a voice actor. He reads like very epic monologues, from just like I don't know, books, a bunch of books from some guy that I've been told to read like thousands of times. Very epic stuff. But this time, he's made a speech about none other than an Amazon review of a tungsten block. For like 3 minutes, I've just sat here listening to that, and it is so peak. Because I did not expect it whatsoever. So yeah, welcome back, Hollow Knight Nation. That was a decent intro. I just had to tell you about this peak. We have peaked as of TikTok. You know, TikTok needs an upgrade. I feel like we had Vine, then we had Musically, or reversed, I can't remember. Now we have TikTok. It's been a couple of years. It's about time we find, you know, another version of this, because we have peaked. We have peaked. Something that I don't think has peaked yet is Soul Eater. Soul Eater the manga. I don't know how to say this, but I hyped the story up so much, and I hoped to God that it would be so good, but I regret to inform you that no, the story's not bad, not whatsoever, but there are a few little holes here and there that I really need to address and figure out what the hell is going on. And again, I might just get a bunch. How am I surviving this? I might just get my answers from just continuing reading. But I just finished the Arachnophobia arc. We have now officially killed Arachne, and you know, the master plan of, yeah, we were completely right. Medusa, she does not care about Krona. We still don't know where the hell Krona is. It was a complete lie, of course, because it's Medusa we're talking about. But Medusa's grand plan was to steal her sister's body, because that's another ability that she, as a witch, has. She can just steal bodies. She has had the body of a literal child for like forever now, ever since her battle with Stein, where she basically lost. Now she basically lost again, but not really. Everything went according to her plan, and you know, when Arachne died officially, by the way, Arachne and Medusa, they are sisters. So that's why, you know, it's, you know, the body is more suited for Medusa than some random child. But you know, she just had to have a vessel of some sort. But yeah, she now has a, to be fair, much cooler form than she had before. I think I even like this form way more. I can't explain the form. She's just Medusa. But I like it even more than the original Medusa form, so that's pretty cool. She kind of just walks away at the end of the whole thing. You know, there's a bunch of awesome, cool battles, like, you know, proper shonen-esque battles that happen, and you know, after they defeat Arachne and Medusa takes over Arachne's body, she just leaves. She just skedaddles. She doesn't skedaddle immediately because you know, Maka and Soul are kind of in her way. They were the main force defeating Arachne, and that was her plan all along, Medusa's plan. Because the way they defeat her, you know, Arachne, she uses some sort of like spiritual web. She kind of just leaves her body to be able to use this spiritual web of just, what's it called? A web of insanity. Kind of like you know, kind of like the clown, she has that, you know, become one with insanity type deal. But she makes one fatal mistake, and that is going up against our main characters. Shut the fuck up! Du kan bare gå ind.
Aftensmad vil vi æde, så vil jeg fucking sulten af at spise noget af.
Det kan godt det samme. Lad mig giv mig sådan 20 minutter.
20 minutter?
Ja. Yeah.
Okay, det er sult på det tidspunkt.
Obo.
What?
Obo. Jeg dør på en antiklimatisk måde, don't worry. Alright. So let's do a speed run then. Let's do a speed run of this yappening. Medusa, she kind of just leaves after taking over the body, and we don't see her again. This is way after, like, the battles themselves are probably the most fun part of this whole thing. Which is, you know, I especially like Blackstar versus Mifune. That's a repeating battle pretty much, and I sense another one of them is coming, because Blackstar, even though, you know, as powerful as he's become, he's still lost. It was way more even at you know, this time around, but he's still lost in the end of it. He basically got a power up of you know, he was down in the dumps after his little losing streak. But he got his powers back just like from I don't actually know. He just manned the fuck up and, you know, got his powers. He had that little moment with Tsubaki's brother, you know, getting the whole, instead of just her, you know, getting both of their powers essentially. I don't really know how that works. It's probably explained at some point, but I couldn't follow. I couldn't actually. I can't remember. But you know, they get into a high to extreme diff battle, so that's a thing. That's a whole thing. And well, yeah. Shut up. So, you know, there's, I don't actually know why, but Sid, he was just kind of there. He just kind of stood there and watched. And now that I think about it, he would be perfect for, like, tracking down Medusa and, you know, just finishing her off. Because at this point, they have no need for Medusa. Or at least, you know, that's kind of the thing. We don't get to see the aftermath of this arc. We just, you know, we defeat the big bad woman, and then everyone else, like the lesser big bads, they just kind of wander off, and we also kind of wander off, and then just hard cut it to, we're all back to the academy. And, you know, some hints about, like, okay, who actually killed BJ, who actually, you know, the internal affairs guy, who actually killed her. You know, she expected that our guy Stein was alive, so it's essentially just dropping the lore, and now the current chapter that I've just read is, you know, exactly that, and it turns out it is none other than Justin Law. That was revealed pretty quickly after it was teased, but I'm not mad about it being Justin Law, because he was always kind of weird, kind of not really weird. I like the guy. I fucking love Justin Law just as a fella, as a guy, as a character, but you know, he's always been kind of mysterious, and we don't really know anything about him other than he's cool and funny. But now he's being set up to be the next big bad guy after, you know, Abon, who is not really Abon. The guy I talked about being Abon in his human form before, that is not actually Abon. That is a guy called Noah, I think, who is just an Abon fanboy, I suppose, and that's kind of his whole shtick. Obama, been there. That's kind of his whole shtick, and I don't know. he's just kind of doing his own thing, I suppose. He was one of the big bad guys who just escaped. He kind of just skedaddled. That's probably the main thing I'm a bit mad about. We didn't get answered. Is he just kidnapped Kid? Death the Kid. He's now sealed in a book, kind of, you know, fucking Mont d'Or style. He's just trapped in a book now. And, you know, without his weapons, so the Thompson sisters are they're also just back at the academy. And, you know, we don't see I don't know, again, okay, it's kind of awkward in the later half of this. There are way too many hard cuts, like, away from the most important things that are happening, that we don't, you know, earlier in the arc, we got back to all those parts, so that's what I expected. I don't know if I should expect that now that we're out of the headquarters, now that we're officially back, because this just feels like, you know, ordinary between arcs chapter. And also, I don't know, the fight against Arachne herself was kind of a little too fast for my liking. But I suppose it makes sense. They had, you know, they have a witch hunter now. The black blood that Soul had, I can't really remember what its deal is. It's just like, I suppose it's just infecting him with madness. But he can somehow control it now, or he learned to embrace it or something. I should have probably paid attention at that point, but that reminds me. Free, the immortal guy, he apparently he's on our side, and Kid and Free fought against the mosquito guy, who actually, I think he had a really cool form, where he is no longer the mosquito man we know. He's more like just a lanky vampire guy who can, you know, he can just turn into fucking a billion bats. He got smacked by Kid and Free the first time around. Then he transformed to this form, and they got packed up in like 1 second, literally. And that's about all we see of that. Then we just don't see this guy again. Free is just non-existent. He's just a non-factor in the rest of the arc. And I really wished to see more of him, especially because his introduction was so fucking great. He had so much aura in his introduction that we don't really get to see anywhere else. Like, he was, you know, he had that opening monologue of, you know, he's been captured, he's been imprisoned for like a couple hundred years at least. I can't remember the exact time, but it was a long fucking time, because, you know, again, the guy is immortal. And we don't really, unless I don't remember, we don't actually see or get told how he's immortal, like how that whole thing works. Also, the last time we saw him back, he just kind of, he was thrown into the ocean, or the lake, and just sent there to drown for all eternity, but at some point he just turned back. He just got up again. He just manned the fuck up, I suppose. But he kind of just showed up again. I thought he was with arachnophobia, but apparently he's not. And now I don't even know where he is. So that's always fun. That's always cool. I don't really know. I don't know if I should expect him to come back. I don't know if he's just gonna be some sort of one-man army or anything. I don't really know. I really would have liked to see Free and Mosquito against Kid, and then, you know, Mosquito just not having that tough a form, because Mosquito is, I don't know, I have underestimated him ever since I fucking met him. But he's just been slapping us around, and by us I mean the guys, the fellas, the Team 7 of Soul Eater. He's been slapping us around ever since his introduction, and he has not stopped, which is why it's so impressive that this Abon clone, Noah, he just low-diffed him. Basically low-diffed him. I don't even know if he was worth it to collect. You know, his whole shtick is he's a collector, which I like those types in, like, and basically all of everything. I like collectors. Like, their main objective is just to collect things for their little hobby, and that's it. That's their whole motivation. I don't know. I like those guys for some reason. They just seem so unhinged. It's kind of the same with Fourth Prince Seretnik from not One Piece, from Hunter x Hunter. His whole shtick is just to collect eyes. You know, he probably has a bunch of other things too. He just likes art in general. But you know, the reason he's our main op right now is because he stole the eyes of the Kurta clan, aka Kurapika's clan, which is, you know, Kurapika is probably the only survivor of that. But again, he's just, that's his only motivation for being a bad guy. Also, he's just like a bad person, but that usually comes with it, and that probably is the same situation with this Noah guy. But the big problem with this Noah guy right now is that he is put in possession of Kid, the kid. He, you know, because he was apparently a good enough prize because he's a fucking Shinigami. So he has now been captured and collected in this place, and we see like a little bit of perspective from inside this book he's been collected in. We don't really get to, you know, he's still conscious in there, which feels like a perfect place for like some sort of time chamber place, like some sort of upgrade, because I feel like Kid is in desperate need of some sort of upgrade. No, sure, he is just powerful in and of himself, but he needs some sort of... what's that? Was that stick drift on my new controller? I hope not. So yeah, that's the gist of it. I don't really know where the story is gonna go. The story could actually go a few different ways, because again, we have so many different things we need to tie up. The latest being the murderer of BJ being Justin Law. I haven't talked that much about Justin Law, I think, but he's one of the Death Scythes. And what's interesting about Justin Law is he's become a Death Scythe without a Meister, which is very rare. And also, it just shows how fucking skilled the guy is. So I'm a bit scared if he's, you know, I'm not mad about it at all if he turns out to be like one of the main bad guys we have to defeat. So now we have 3 main bad guys to go after, who is Justin Law for the murder of BJ, and the, you know, his worship of the Kishin. That's the reason he did it. Because BJ's ability would be pretty troublesome for the Kishin, apparently. That's what he says. I don't really get the correlation there, but I don't know. I don't really know. It's probably going to be explained later, because Maka has kind of the same ability as BJ. She has a lot of perception ability, essentially, and that is, for some reason, dangerous for the Kishin. Maybe it's just because the Kishin is waiting out somewhere, waiting for his, you know, his true power to be regained, because he's just been unsealed. If you remember, he has been sealed for hundreds of years inside of his own skin, down beneath, you know, he has been sealed by Lord Death himself. He was one of Lord Death's Death Scythes, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, he's just hiding out somewhere, and I'm pretty sure that's the reason why those abilities would be troublesome. I don't really know, but that's our first enemy guy. the second enemy guy is this Noah fella who is in possession of Death the Kid and Brew, because Kid had Brew on him. Also, another thing I forgot is that during the fight, during the Mosquito and Free fight, Death the Kid, Kid just, I think he didn't really use Brew, but he accidentally used Brew, or he had Brew on him when Brew was activated, is what I'm trying to say. Brew was activated, and I'm pretty sure that was just because of the massive amount of insanity that was just poured out, and that gave Kid some sort of power up, which is, I don't know, it was just some sort of like aligning of souls or something like that. Soul resonance is what it's called. It wasn't really explained what it was. Also, those couple of chapters were translated really poorly, so that might just be a translation issue. But yeah, that's the second bad. I'm really bad at just listing off things. Okay, so we have Justin Law for being a follower of the Kishin and the murder of BJ. We have Noah for the possession and sealing of Death the Kid and Brew. And then we have, of course, Medusa, still, because she's apparently hiding Krona somewhere, and she's the only place we know. She's the only one who might know where Krona is, or have some sort of, I don't know. In the anime, we got kind of an explanation that Krona left of her own will. But this time around, we don't get that. We just get that she left after BJ came, and you know, she's obviously Krona is the guy BJ was actually looking for, and that's kind of it. That's kind of the thing. That's kind of all we know. We don't know where Krona is, we just know that Medusa might know. It would be a fun twist if Medusa doesn't know. But, you know, I don't know, it's also kind of weird, Medusa's, like, whole thing about, oh, I actually care for my child a lot, but, you know, not really, because I am Mr. Evil Man's. But she, I don't know, I like Medusa for that reason exactly. She's just unpredictable, and we don't really, at this point still, we don't know what her real motivations are. She's just kind of an enigma, other than the fact that she wants the Kishin to be released into the world, and she wants just chaos, because then humanity is going to prosper, and by prosper I mean we're getting an upgrade, because of natural selection. Yahoo! She doesn't say that, but that's essentially the gist of it. So, yeah, that's the, I don't know, I tried to, like, speed talk and only, I don't know, I've done this entire run on autopilot, because my roommate is apparently very hungry. But that hasn't helped me in dying faster, which is weird. That's usually how it works, is, uh-oh, I would have liked to hit both of them, but, womp womp, that's how that goes. Yeah, sure. 2 of them? God damn it. Alright, so at this point we might as well just try and win, try and go all the way. Maybe not, maybe I should just focus on getting past Collector and then I should die immediately. I don't really know, I don't know, maybe the talking fast part got my adrenaline pumping and I'm ready to click buttons. That's how it feels like, at least. Uh-oh. But yeah, this is This is a surprisingly easy collector fight. I'm probably gonna die, and I'm gonna have jinxed the whole thing, but that's how it feels right now. Uh-oh. Yeah, could have probably shrieked there and ended him. Yep, I could have. Okay, well, now we have full health at least. That's something. Yeah, I don't really have any idea where this is gonna go. It's not. I don't know. Again, Lord Death is much more of an enigma than Medusa is, because he kind of feels like he doesn't give a fuck. That might be because he doesn't give a fuck about this particular thing. This particular thing being, you know, the two witch girls that were just kind of existing. Like how they're gonna fare after, you know, this whole thing went down, and if they're accepted into the academy, or like what are their fates. But that might just be a coping, because he's actually really worried about his own kid, which would make sense. He's worried about Death the Kid because he is fucking gone, and you know, again, he can't fucking leave the academy grounds because he's protecting the academy grounds, and you know, if he's not there, who's gonna protect? But I don't know. I still think that's pretty stupid. Especially because the main reason he was protecting it in the first place was because the Kishin was there, and the Kishin is nowhere to be found. I don't know. I still don't know exactly where the Kishin is. I don't even think we've seen him after this. Again, this whole thing with him, like, oh, he's recuperating to save energy to, you know, be stronger than he was or something like that. I don't know if that's true. That's just my headcanon. I have no idea if that is the truth or not, but that's the best guess I have. The problem is, a lot of these are just guesses, and, you know, a lot of this is just, you know, I desperately hope that all of this gets tied into something. Especially, I don't know, I have a soft spot for Free, and I don't know why, but I just want him to get, you know, explained. Like, I want him to have some sort of conclusion. If that just was, oh yeah, I'm gonna die in this battle against Mosquito, so that you guys may have a chance to defeat Arachnophobia, sure. But the issue is, was he not very much on Arachnophobia's side? I don't know, his allegiances are so weird, and that is probably the biggest flaw of this arc. Is that you know, now I'm just doubting everyone, like, who's on whose side. Uh-oh. Again, that might just be a reading issue. Like, I just need to get better at reading into this situation, or, you know, reading. I don't know. Might also just be a translation error. Who really knows? Again, I have all these questions, and they might be answered, and they might not. I'm gonna look through the subreddit of the series and just see every, like, fucking specific video there is out there to see, just to, you know, be clarified on what the hell is happening. But I can't do that now, and it frustrates me to the ends of the earth. And there's still, I mean, the chapters are really long, and there's still like 50 chapters left or something. I've also found out that when I read it on, I have like an app for manga, and when I read it on there, it is the translation and the quality of the images are so much better. So I should probably just be doing that instead, and just stop fucking complaining about translation errors. God, I've only drank water. Why am I burping so much? So yeah, I found it's just it's a goofy fucking app where you connect the app to some websites and then you see how you know there are different. I don't know. It kind of just feels like a website. It feels like Google, where you can go to different sites and just. I think my main go-to is one called Manga Life. Then you can just borrow a bunch of, basically steal a bunch of different manga on there, and that's the main way I go about things. They have pretty much fucking everything. I haven't even checked if they have like a official website or anything. But those are the guys. They just have a bunch of different libraries that you can steal from, and that's what I've been doing. And it's apparently way better quality than what I'm used to, because I'm pretty sure what I'm used to is, the original online translations from like 2008, and that is, of course, not the best quality out there, but it's some quality anyway. So it's readable. It's also sometimes there's just like text over. It's very obvious that the text is just like a blank, a white box essentially with a bunch of text on, and you can. When the box is bad enough, you can just see the text behind it, the original Japanese text, which is pretty funny if I do say so myself. So yeah, I feel myself getting a bit hungry too. I might just die to Umu. Just, I don't know. I said 20 minutes or so to my roommate. It has been a little over 20 minutes. It has been nearly half an hour, so that's always cool. Uh-oh, I forgot that I had to move. Uh-oh, yeah, that was meant to, yeah. God damn it. Uh-oh, yeah. Well, that didn't even help me. Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna pretend like that was meant to happen, and we're not gonna talk about the fact that is this the third time in a row that I've died to Umu? God, I'm way too impatient when it comes to Umu fights. Shit. Well, alright then. I'll be heading out later.